Ask me what you want. Oh, hi, I'm Gary from Heat Treat.
Hey Gary, I'm curious about different methods of bed bug extermination. I've seen some companies that do steam. I've seen, your standard Orkin and Terminex that do pesticides. I know heat is another method. Can you kind of explain all the differences in different treatments?
Love to. So, I mean, Heat Treat, our company, Heat Treat Incorporated, came about because pesticides were not effective in killing bed bugs. The thing with bed bugs, it has to be 100% kill. If you leave a bug, you might as well not even do the treatment. They're just going to repopulate. You haven't handled the problem, and it'll be disappointing, basically, unless it's 100% kill. Now, the problem with pesticides is that most bed bugs are completely resistant to all pesticides, including DDT. Back in the 50s, DDT was founded. They found strains of bed bugs that were resistant to even DDT. It did wipe out the whole population. DDT is not legal anymore, for good reason, and the pesticides that are available are quite a bit weaker than DDT and are not effective at all. So what happens with pesticides is it starts out where you might get a 60% kill rate. All right, and then the idea is they come back in 2 weeks thinking, well, now they got to get the eggs I've hatched, and now we're going to kill the eggs. Well, they don't mention that they also have to kill the 40% of the bugs they didn't get the first time around. Well, the bugs that survive the pesticide treatment are really the ones that were very resistant in the first place. So now you have a strain of bed bugs in your house that are completely resistant to the pesticides. So pesticides are just one of the more ineffective ways. And actually, the other problem with pesticides is it causes the bed bugs to flee and get into, like, deeper into the nooks and crannies or into an adjacent apartment if you're dealing with an apartment complex. So it actually spreads the bugs around, whereas you might have started out with bugs in one room. Now they're going to be in 3 or 4 rooms, and if you keep using pesticides, they're pretty much going to be everywhere in your house. Plus, they're going to be harder to kill because they'll get underneath the tack strip of carpeting, they'll get in the walls, and it'll make it a much more difficult job. So, heat is very effective in killing them. It kills the enzymes, it kills the eggs, it kills all stages of life. It's impossible for there to be a life form that survives without enzymes, and it's impossible for enzymes to survive above 118 degrees. So heat just kills everything. In fact, not only will it kill your bed bugs, it'll kill any mold, bacteria, any bug, spider, it'll kill everything in your house. Now, it's particularly effective on bed bugs because they are attracted to heat. They're one of the few bugs that use heat to find their food source. So not only does heat kill them, well, bed bugs are attracted to heat, and they will come toward the heat thinking it's a food source. So the idea is well, why don't we use steam? It's a pretty easy thing. Well, the problem with steam is it's very hot when it comes out. 212 degrees is the temperature of steam. It is very hot when it comes out of the nozzle, but really within an inch, 2 inches from the nozzle, it's no longer hot. So unless you're going to go around and physically touch every bug and every egg with the steam, it's completely ineffective and kind of a silly treatment. Plus, because bed bugs are attracted to heat, they will get inside electronics like computers, TVs, monitors, cable boxes. All electronics get warm. The bed bug doesn't know the difference. It thinks it's a food source. It'll climb inside this electronic piece. And how are you going to use steam to get inside your electronics? It'll do a lot of damage. Plus, the nature of bed bugs is that they hide. They will climb inside books. They will climb inside VCR tapes, cassette tapes, in the oddest of places. And you don't want to be putting steam inside your books and all of that. And so that's the problem with steam. That's the problem with pesticides. Heat. The problem with heat is you have to be above 120 degrees to do anything. And really, At 116 degrees, the bugs are going to run around just fine. It'll just get them excited. You have to exceed 118 before you're going to kill enzymes. Now, the problem with heat is if you get too hot, and Underwriter Laboratory set that temperature at 135 degrees. If you go above 135 degrees, you start to do damage to the content in the home. So most glues will start to deteriorate at about 140 degrees. Now you have glue pretty much on everything in your house. It's what glues the veneer down to furniture. It's what glues the pages in your books, your magazines. Glue is used everywhere, and really about 140 degrees, many glues will start to deteriorate. You go to 145 degrees, like plastic laminates on countertops will start to delaminate and come up. Your kitchen cabinets, many of them have veneers and even Formica or that plastic laminate on them, and that will also come out. So the problem with heat is you have to be above 120 and you cannot get above 135. So there's a sweet spot of about 15 degrees that you get to work with, and you can't get too hot, and if you're too cold, it won't do anything. The other thing with heat is you need enough of it to penetrate everything. We're talking underneath the tack strips of carpet, through the drywall, through all the electronics, through the books. It really has to have enough quantity of heat, so it can't be just like a little space heater that you plug into a regular 120 volt outlet. In fact, there's no heaters that you just plug into your 120 volts in your home that can possibly provide enough heat to get it hot enough. The heater itself will get to 120, but it isn't enough to heat the entire room, particularly if you start to introduce fans and blowers and all of this other equipment. You won't have enough heat to be effective.